If you're an entrepreneur that's exhausted from launching fast, growing aggressively, spending so much money, and keeping an eye on every trend, what if the answer wasn't to do more, but to intentionally do less? Welcome to Ditch the Chaos. I'm Cara, Chace, and this is your space to figure out how to run your life and business without running yourself into the ground. Today, we're talking about slow business, what it actually means, why it matters, and how to build one without sacrificing growth. Let's get to it. So let's talk about slow business. And I know what you're thinking. Cara, I'm already behind. I can't afford to slow down. But what I need you to know is that slow business isn't about doing less work. It's about doing the right work intentionally, instead of constantly reacting to the next fire or the next trend or the next must-do thing that some guru posted on Instagram. The traditional business model glorifies speed. Launch fast, grow aggressively, collaborate with everyone, push constant content. And while that might work for some people, honestly, it leads most of us straight to burnout, decision fatigue, and businesses that feel like they're held together with hope and caffeine. The pressure to keep up with industry trends, social media algorithms, and the latest mastermind everyone's joining, that creates this environment where you're constantly reacting instead of strategically growing. You're not building. You're just treading water really fast. A slow business takes a different approach. It focuses on intentionality over urgency, depth over speed, quality over volume, sustainability over short-term wins. Instead of treating success like a race, slow business owners focus on building a strong, aligned foundation. And this approach, it leads to better decision-making, more meaningful customer relationships, and a business that actually feels fulfilling instead of draining. So today, I'm breaking down 5 key principles of slow business and how you can start implementing them this week. Okay, our first principle is simplifying your business systems. One of the core ideas of slow business is efficiency without excess. And I see so many online entrepreneurs fall into this trap of thinking more tools, more apps, more complexity equals better results. I have fallen into this trap myself many times. But in reality, overcomplicated systems create more stress than solutions. And here's what I mean. If you're juggling Asana for project management, Slack for communication, Google Docs for content, Trello for ideas, and yet another tool for client onboarding, you're probably spending more time navigating your systems than actually working. I call this fragmented workflows, and it's exhausting. Instead of jumping between multiple platforms, consolidate your core operations into a central hub. I personally use Notion for this. You can manage content, tasks, client tracking all in one place. Then let external tools like scheduling apps or payment processors handle only what's absolutely necessary for that specific task. A slow business thrives on simplified, streamlined operations, not patchwork systems that create more work. So here's how to refine your backend admin to simplify your business systems. First, reduce reliance on excessive automations. If you have zaps just to move information between disconnected tools, ask yourself if you could just house everything in one place instead. Next, figure out what you want to use as that central hub, whether that's Notion or something else. Organize your content planning, your client tracking, business tasks into one dashboard instead of scattering data and projects and notes everywhere. Next, you want to minimize your client communication channels. Stop emailing, DMing, texting, using a bunch of different platforms. Direct all clients to one primary method. Maybe that's a Notion client portal or a private Voxer channel or just a well-structured email system. Just pick one. And finally, batch your content creation and scheduling. Plan, draft, and organize content inside your hub, and then schedule posts in advance with tools like Buffer or Meta Business Suite to reduce that daily "what do I post today" decision fatigue. A slow business doesn't reject technology, it just uses fewer tools with more intention. The goal is to create a back-end system that's simple, functional, and aligned with how you actually work, so you can focus on deep, meaningful work instead of getting lost in endless apps and admin. Principle number 2 is to market with depth, not just consistency. So many entrepreneurs believe that success in marketing comes from being relentlessly visible, posting daily, engaging constantly, chasing every new trend. And yes, consistency does matter, but what matters more is resonance. If your content isn't meaningful or aligned with your audience, no amount of frequency is going to make it effective. You've just turned your content into a box you're checking instead of actually connecting with your potential customers. So instead of trying to be everywhere, focus on creating valuable, evergreen content that continues to work for you over time. This means producing fewer high-quality pieces like blog posts or videos or long-form social content rather than mindlessly posting just to stay active. A slow business approach to marketing is about depth. It's about listening to your audience, refining your message, and ensuring that every piece of content you share has a lasting impact and was worth the time you spent on it. And here's another key to creating deeper connections. Infuse your content with personality. People don't just buy from businesses, they buy from people they trust and relate to. If your content feels overly polished or impersonal or too chat GPT-like, it's harder for your audience to form a genuine connection. So let that sense of humor, your quirks, your personal experiences shine through. Share your stories, write how you speak, and don't be afraid to show the behind-the-scenes moments. Whether it's a witty remark in an email, a relatable business struggle in a blog post, or a funny analogy in a social caption, adding you into your content makes it so much more engaging. So, slow business marketing means creating high-quality, evergreen content that keeps working for you long-term, listening to your audience instead of pushing content for the sake of visibility and checking a box, engaging meaningfully and building relationships rather than just broadcasting messages, and infusing your content with your personality so that your audience feels like they're getting to know the real you. When you market with this kind of depth, you don't just create an audience, you'll create a community with people who trust you, resonate with your message, and are genuinely excited to engage with your brand over the long term. Okay, on to our third principle, setting boundaries with clients, collaborations, and workflows. A slow business prioritizes the right clients, collaborations, and workflows over just saying yes to everything and everyone. And I get it. Many of us fall into this trap of accepting every project, every client, every partnership, thinking that more opportunities mean more success. I have certainly done that. But the reality is, taking on work that drains your energy, doesn't align with your values, or stretches you too thin will lead to frustration, resentment, and an unsustainable business model. Just because an opportunity presents itself doesn't mean it's the right fit. And this applies not only to client relationships, but also to collaborations like those virtual summits, guest expert opportunities, podcast appearances, affiliate partnerships. While these can be great for visibility, constantly agreeing to them out of obligation or FOMO, fear of missing out, creates a cycle of overcommitment and scattered focus. So instead of saying yes to everything, be intentional. Before accepting an opportunity, ask yourself, does this align with my long-term goals, and will this feel energizing or draining? If the answer is not a super strong hell yes, then it's a no. Another key part of maintaining those strong boundaries is how you structure your workflows. Many of us unknowingly create chaos by agreeing to last-minute requests, working without a clear process, or constantly shifting priorities to meet external demands. This is the third kind of chaos that I talk about inside my course Chaos Detox, external chaos. A slow business approach means creating structured workflows that give you control over your schedule instead of letting clients and collaboration demands dictate your time. So, here's a couple ways that this might look when you're setting up these strong boundaries. You want to set clear expectations with clients. Define the project timelines, communication boundaries, and project scopes up front so there's no surprises. You also want to use workflows to avoid reactive work. Instead of jumping into tasks haphazardly, create repeatable systems for things like onboarding, content creation, and marketing. If you want to learn more about how to be more proactive in your business instead of reactive all the time, the last podcast episode talked in depth about this concept. Next, you want to be selective about those collaboration requests. Not every virtual summit, podcast, or guest post request needs a yes from you. Only choose those that truly align with your business values and your bandwidth. And finally, protect your time. Set office hours, limit your meetings. Don't feel pressured to be available at all times. By setting boundaries around who you work with, how you collaborate, and how you manage your workflow, you create a business that feels spacious and sustainable instead of rushed and reactive. Okay, on to our fourth principle, and this is prioritizing self-care and rest. And I know you've heard this a million times, but hear me out. Many entrepreneurs treat self-care as an afterthought, something to squeeze in once things slow down, or if you happen to have time at the end of the day. But the truth is, rest isn't a luxury. It's a business strategy, especially when you are the entrepreneur running your own business. When you're constantly working at full capacity, you're more likely to make rushed decisions, produce lower quality work, and feel disconnected from your own creativity. Slow business owners understand that success isn't just about how much you produce, it's about how well you take care of the person running the business, and that's you. One of the easiest ways to incorporate self-care into your business is by starting your day with small, intentional rituals that set the tone for a calm, focused workday, instead of seeing if you have any energy or bandwidth at the end of the day. So instead of immediately checking emails or jumping into tasks, take 5 to 10 minutes to ground yourself, whatever that looks like for you. Sip your coffee in silence, maybe stretch or journal, take a mindful short walk. These small moments of stillness signal to your brain that your time and energy are valuable, and they help you move into your workday with clarity instead of stress. Beyond mornings, building rest into your daily workflow is essential. Many of us overwork because we believe taking breaks means falling behind, or maybe you feel like you have a compressed timeline because of a school day, and so you can't really afford to step away for lunch. You just need to get it all done as quickly as possible. But the opposite is in fact true. Regular pauses throughout your day allow your mind to reset, leading to more creativity, better decision-making, and increased productivity in less time. So instead of pushing through exhaustion, schedule short breaks between tasks. Step away from your desk for lunch. Set a hard stop for the end of your workday. Here's what integrating self-care into your business routine can look like. Start your day with small self-care rituals, like I already said. Even 5 minutes of intentional reflection, movement, or quiet time can set the tone for a more productive, grounded, peaceful day. Schedule those regular breaks. Stretch, move, step outside. These pauses will actually improve your focus and make you more productive. And take digital and screen breaks. Spending all day in front of a screen drains your energy and creativity. Step away for a few minutes every hour and create clear work-life boundaries. Set a work schedule that protects your evenings, your weekends, and personal time instead of working whenever there's a free moment. Design a workspace that promotes calm. Your environment affects your mindset. Organize your space in a way that feels peaceful and inspiring. I have a great shoppable blog on 44 ideas to make your office cozy and inspiring, and I'll link that in the show notes. Recognize that rest is productive. When you take care of yourself, your creativity, clarity, and decision-making improve, ultimately benefiting your business, as I've said several times now. And prioritizing self-care isn't about doing less. It's about ensuring that when you do work, you're doing it with energy, clarity, and intention. By making self-care and rest a non-negotiable part of your business, you create a sustainable workflow that supports both your success and your well-being. And finally, the fifth principle: make space for insights instead of just execution. So many of us spend all our time in execution and action mode that we forget to analyze what's really working. A fast business model prioritizes ineffective strategies. Really, it just leads to wasting your time. A slow business, on the other hand, makes room for regular reflection, analysis, and course correction. Instead of constantly launching new offers or marketing campaigns, slow business owners refine what's already working. They listen to their audience. They track engagement and make small strategic adjustments that help and compound over time. Taking time to review that data and evaluate your marketing efforts and refine your offers, it's not about slowing down your progress. It's about ensuring that every action is intentional and effective. Too many small business owners fall into the habit of throwing spaghetti at the wall. Again, I know this because I've made this mistake too. And then you hope that something sticks. But clarity comes from stepping back and assessing the results, doing an after-action report after a launch, or tracking your monthly metrics. What content is driving the most engagement? What offers are converting the best? What marketing channels are actually bringing in leads? Instead of doing more just for the sake of momentum, a slow business owner focuses on what's already working and optimizes it. And beyond strategy, regular check-ins on your workflows and systems are just as important as reviewing your marketing and your offers. If you have automations that frequently break, or a task management system that feels overwhelming, or a scheduling process that's confusing for clients, your systems aren't really supporting your business. They're creating unnecessary stress. A slow business approach means making sure your backend operations run smoothly and actually making your work easier instead of complicating it. So periodically review and refine your workflows. You'll avoid frustration, save time, and ensure that your business is operating efficiently. Here's what making space for those insights can look like for you. Track what content and offers resonate most and double down on what works. Review your standard operating procedures and admin regularly to improve efficiency. Be willing to adapt instead of constantly adding new things or creating new things. Sometimes small refinements are more impactful than big, flashy changes or new products. And make sure that your systems and your workflows are working properly. If an automation tool or workflow is creating more hassle than help, it needs to be streamlined or replaced or deleted. A slow business thrives on continuous small improvements, not just constant action. That is the takeaway here. And by prioritizing reflection and refinement, you create a business that runs efficiently, evolves strategically, and grows in a way that feels aligned. Okay, here is your reset and reclaim action step for the week. Pick one area of your business where you think you're overcomplicating things. Maybe it's your tech stack. Maybe it's how you communicate with your clients. Maybe it's your content strategy. And ask yourself, what's one thing I could simplify this week that would create more breathing room? Then do it. Consolidate a tool, set a boundary, batch your content, whatever it is, take one small step towards simplifying. Because a slow business isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things intentionally. If this episode resonated with you, I want to invite you to join the Productivity Rebellion. It's my free monthly guide for women who refuse to choose between success and sanity. You'll get strategy, boundaries, real talk, all delivered straight to your inbox on the first of every month. No overwhelm, no daily emails, just one monthly reset to help you build a business that doesn't burn you out. Head over to Chace.com to sign up. And if you're ready to stop rewriting the same to-do list every week and build a weekly planning system that flexes even when life gets chaotic, check out Chaos Detox at chaos.com/chaos-detox. It's the repeatable weekly planning method for high-capacity women entrepreneurs who are done white-knuckling their way through every week. Thanks for listening to Ditch the Chaos. If this episode helped you see where you can slow down and simplify, share it with another exhausted entrepreneur who needs to hear it. And remember, slow business isn't about resisting growth. It's about growing in a way that actually works for you. Until next time, I'm Cara Chace, reminding you to keep questioning the rules and making your own.